so the program consists of 4 main pillars. Okay? The teacher training, which you just saw in the video, and of course that cascades down to the students. After that, we actually we go back into the schools. Of all the schools that teachers came to, we actually go one-on-one with the teachers, right? So we give them that kind of personal touch. And then we have local kids camps, and these local kids camps, 2 years ago we started a Junior NBA Global Championship. And this is where you're talking earlier about trying to get kids competitive or competing against kids from around the region. The Global Championships is held in Orlando, and it takes the Junior NBA kids from around the world, right? So we send an Asia team. So we need to qualify. This year, we had, next slide please. Okay, so just to give you an idea, I'm going to jump back to that thing. We reached 19.5 million kids across Asia. And year to date, we've been doing this thing for several years now, almost 16 million, or 80% of this comes from Indonesia, right? And of course, we got South Sumatra, Medan, Yogyakarta, East Java, Central Java, West Java, of course, Jakarta, and it's just getting bigger, right? So that's the impact that Indonesia is making on the program. Next step, next slide, please. And we, just in Jakarta alone, okay, we ran 12 clinics last year, reaching almost 10,000 teachers through 7,200 schools, right? So again, we reach madrasa, we went through madrasa, schools around the area as well, right? Next. Okay, so some of the successes on that, this year, just in 19 alone, we reached 10 million, just this year, okay? And that's up 45% versus last year. You see, everything is going up simply because the engagement, when you see 1 year, in the first year, the numbers were still good, but when a teacher sees the training, they ask to come back. And not only do they ask to come back, they talk to their colleagues and say, you've got to see this training. So now we're kind of at a point where we're almost kind of victims of our own success, where we have limitations on resources, and we're looking for a lot of partners to help us support the program. You guys have given us all the access to help us grow, and the next stage of growth comes with looking for local partners. Next slide, please. Okay, so remember I talked earlier about the Global Championships, which is in Orlando. That's actually happening next month in August. This is the second year. It's going to be August 6th to 11th, right? So we had the regional qualifier, and the regional qualifier was just last month in June, right? And I'll send all this deck. I'll send it to you guys, right? We had 10 countries represented in this regional championship. So of course, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, Philippines, Japan, Korea, New Zealand, and Australia. They all came to Jakarta, just outside of Jakarta, to run the regional championships. Okay, and we had the local team here was selected. The local all-star team was selected back in March. The result, next slide. We had 3 Indonesian kids selected to the Asia team. Okay, I get you guys to give your heads off now because that's fantastic. It's from thousands and thousands of kids that really skilled. 3 Indonesian kids made this all-star team. So one boy and the 2 girls, okay, Angelica and Vanessa. So they will join, kids from Japan, Korea, Australia. They will join those kids to go to Orlando next month. Right? So they're going to represent Asia, not only represent Asia, represent Indonesia. Right? So this is an example of giving a global platform and access to much bigger. Now, with these, not just these kids, before we selected these 3 kids, we had the 10 Indonesian kids all-stars, right? And the 10, we always call them back to our program to make sure we stay engaged with them, because we want them to continue to inspire the other kids, inspire the new kids, and be really just staying engaged with the program. Their words and the things that they see in their experience is so impactful to the new kids coming into the program. Next slide, please. Okay, so all of this, and you saw in the video, is available online. So we make sure whether the kids going to Orlando, the teacher training, everything is available digital. Now this is important because, especially when we want to go to rural areas, like not everybody has access to come to the training. Sometimes we're dealing with madrasa schools or Sanford schools, and they have even less access. So we're digitizing everything. So ultimately, it doesn't matter where you are in Indonesia, what village, what city, if you couldn't make it today, you will have access free of charge to the Junior MBA program. Next, please. And what's key is because everybody in Indonesia has at least 1.5 telephones, and everybody's connected through social. So we've got to make sure that this is also mobile. Because when the teachers in the school, the kids are in the playground, they want to see something, they want to see some content, they can do this through mobile access. And so that all encompasses kind of the summary. Next slide. So what is the next step? And that's it. So the next step here, and it's something we're working on right now. We've had a lot of progress with Pak Rationo and his group, is working on implementing the junior NBA curriculum into schools. And this was led by your initiative and your direction on this. So what we're doing now is in January, we will have a special bespoke junior NBA curriculum that teachers can teach from grades 1 all the way through to grades 12. We're customizing that just for Jakarta. Right? Within those lessons, we're going to have 50, 60, 70, 80 videos. It's all going to be in the house. It's going to be step by step, following the normal syllabus structure that you have now. So teachers can easily teach basketball with all of the materials. We're just finishing the first draft of that curriculum by the 15th of August, and we'll share it with Pak Rationo and his group. And then we're going to do training for every single teacher. We're going to train them again in November. And the curriculum will take you step by step, and by December, they're all going to be experts in training basketball in class. Right? And we're going to continue to follow up through the digital platform and stay engaged. And again, thanks to Rationo, Taga, and his group, and everybody. They've been so supportive. We've been so close to them. Your initiative. So thank you. And as I mentioned earlier, because of what we're doing here in Jakarta, the things that we are doing here, NBA now, globally, it wants to replicate this model. So thank you, Jakarta, for such a good partnership with NBA. We could not be more grateful.
Perfect. So the closest agenda to us is preparing for the January event.
Yes. That's exactly it. Yeah. So we will meet regularly with the group. Now we have been meeting regularly for the last 6 months already, and that's how much engagement with them.
Izin Pak Gubernur menyampaikan saja bahwa Dinas Pendidikan beserta tim sangat serius kolaborasi dengan MBA. Kita sudah beberapa kali pertemuan dan sudah melakukan studi training terhadap guru Pak. Saat ini kami sedang mencoba membahas kurikulumnya. Nanti ada beberapa penyesuaian yang kita sama-sama bahas. Setelah jadi Pak, nanti akan ada SD, SMP, SMA. Semua ada Pak guru olahraga SD ikut Pak. Nanti kita akan sama-sama sepakati kurikulum yang paling pas. Kemudian ada tutorial TOT untuk beberapa guru, kemudian disebarkan untuk diterapkan di seluruh sekolah.
Sekarang kendalanya ada?
Secara umum berjalan lancar. Kendala utama hanya masalah bahasa. Ada beberapa dan kurikulum kami pun kurikulum olahraga khususnya untuk basket dalam proses terjemah ke bahasa Inggris, kemudian nanti dipelajari oleh tim MBA, kemudian nanti diberikan masukan disusun kembali. Oke, cukup Pak.
I was just asking if what are the constraints? What are the barriers? And you said almost no barriers, right? Except a little bit of language. But sports is sports. This is on record, so I to limit what I must not say.
We're actually heading in that direction, and I think that it's also important for the NBA to learn from the local community, because a lot of things we're learning from here, we're replicating in other markets. We want to make sure that we have the right people here. But in addition to that, I mentioned to you that the kids were going to Orlando, but what I forgot to mention is we also select coaches or teachers, right? So we have a program where we would select the teacher of the week, the teacher of the month, and then teacher of the year. And then we take those teachers of the year, we bring them to the Asia qualifier. This year just happened to be in Indonesia, next year to be in another country, right? And then they compete again on a kind of like Asia stage for the 4 spots to join the kids in Orlando. So we're going to send four coaches to Orlando. So that's another opportunity. But definitely, there definitely are ways in which we could work on having more integration of our global platform, our global coaches into Indonesia. It just seems to be working so well right now. And we need to work closely with you. We continue to work closely with the team to make that happen.
Pak Jim and team, everyone, you have a blessing. So, and I propose that let's expand this as, and I truly appreciate, Jim, the fact that we are now sort of a model that can be shown to the world, and we do hope that the impact is felt not only in the school but in the community. I'd like to see more people playing basketball because of what they learn from school. We can use the school facility, but the community, we have a year-long sports competition. Festival olahraga sepanjang tahun. So sports festival all year long, and the kind of sports that's being played mostly is soccer, football, or table tennis. But we would like to see more basketball also. Because if they were learning basketball in school, then in the communities too. The idea why it is a year-long sports competitions is not so much for the sport itself, but for more interactions between the members of society.
Absolutely.
And if the kids play, the parents will join.
Absolutely.
But if we call parents to meet one another, they're not meeting one another.
You should see when we run our kids events, we have to hold the parents off because they want to be right beside your kid. And it's wonderful, but they're all filming and the kid gets a little bit of sweat and then we're oh, it's okay. So we have to actually put the parents back. We know that the kids do it, the parents, exactly. Here in Indonesia is truly special.
So when kids, we invited the kids to play, but actually the true objective is we would like to see the entire community to meet on a regular basis.
Yes.
And kids were mostly attracted to that. So that has been successful, but let's make sure that about more basketball. The issue with basketball is more the facility, but make sure that we can use the school facility at the school.
And here's the beauty of it. When we do the training, we know that. We always ask the teachers at the end, what, do you have any questions? I guarantee you, every single time they say, I don't have a basketball, or I don't have a basketball court. Every single time they say that. So of course, on the basketball we can help. The minimum we give, every single teacher, we give them a basketball to start. But we train so that whether you have 2 basketball rims, 1 basketball rim, or no basketball rims, you can still train basketball, because basketball is more than just shooting in the hoop. It's teamwork, it's communication, it's footwork, it's positioning, it's a lot of things. So we teach different levels, and you can run classes at any level without a basketball.
Right.
So we make sure that that's included in the training.
Perfect. Perfect. Wow, let's proceed.
Fantastic.
Let's proceed. And the video that you saw us earlier, can I have
Absolutely.
have a copy?
Yep.
And then we would like to promote that. And also, if you don't mind, after this meeting, I'd like to have you made a remarks about what Jakarta has worked together. So we would like to use that to assign a positive spirit to our teachers. They may be participating, but they don't hear your words. We will then distribute that to our channel.
Yes.
And you said everybody have
And that's it. That's it.
So I guarantee all teachers will then be, we'll put the translation, the subtitle of your words. So the message is to the people, to the parents of Jakarta. Parents and people, including teachers. And then tell them that how Jakarta has contributed to this program. So that, this is to energize And then we will then campaign more on this program using our channel, and hopefully the impact will be much bigger.
Fantastic. And I'm going to ask for your permission to share the video of you and your son around the world.
Sure.
Is that okay? Is that okay? Okay, there we go. There we go. That's on the record, right? Okay, that'll help.
And again, you know, as soon as people realize, especially parents, you know, I like to see more parents get the message from you, the experience you had in Jakarta, and how this has transformed. Even those videos, we'll put that as a small package perhaps, and then we'll distribute.
You know, and there's so much content, and we'll give you some links that we didn't share of local kids. We shoot because the kids want to see themselves, the parents want to see their kids, they want to see their friends, they don't want to see that. It's amazing at how often they share just a simple clip of a kid dribbling basketball, but I know him, oh my God, I've seen him before. They'll share, it's going to get thousands of likes and thousands of shares just in a heartbeat. We have so many of those types of videos, but we'll give you some links to all of those as well.
Okay, good, perfect. So let's proceed. And if there is anything from your side that needs our support, and we have the team here, you've been working with Gub Anies with them. And from our part, Pak, nanti coba dilihat what other innovations we can do to reach wider audience. Because now we have more clubs of basketball here in Jakarta than it used to be. Klubnya bertumbuhan sekarang.
Club, the DBL league is getting bigger as well. The high school league, the IBL league is strong. Yeah, absolutely. And we're working very close. We know all of them. We're staying close to them, and Provinsi as well.
But again, you know, what is interesting about this program is not so much about the technique itself, but the character building that is there. Because that's at the end, that's what we're all about. Many of them will not be making professional basketball players.
Absolutely.
But they will become professional in various different fields.
More confidence.
And being professional in various different fields, they need those characters. The confidence, the depth, the consistency, you know, all the hard working.
Something as simple as speaking out. As a team, teamwork is about communication. And if they learn anything about communicating with their teams, they've learned something from the junior. If they just took that away, it's all worth it. Just better communication, more confidence. And we see the kids, when we start with the kids, we tell them, you know, talk to each other because you're on the same team. If you talk, you're going to be a better team. Just say something simple, give me the ball versus being quiet. And it helps your team. They know where you are without having to see you. They know where you are. And they learn, at the beginning, they don't talk. Many kids just won't, and that's it, you can't tell. But the coach just talk, screams at them. They have to sometimes, and they, oh yeah, and then they start screaming, they start talking. And just to see them evolve through a short period of just one day is such a sight for it.
Yeah.
It's just such a wonderful sight. And everybody's yelling, everybody's great, so it's communicating the character values, so that's crucial.
That's very true. Allow me to share a little bit when I was high school. Saya mungkin bahasa Indonesia ini. Waktu saya sekolah di Amerika, when I went to school in the US, I attended high school, and I was about to play sports. Karena cara untuk punya teman di sana itu punya olahraga, main basketball. Waktu itu saya terlalu kecil untuk di sini main basket, tapi di sana ukurannya kecil. Jadi saya pilih olahraganya bulat. Karena kalau bulat itu bertarung dengan orang seukuran. Nggak mungkin dengan berat badan.
Sesuai kelas.
Tapi yang menarik itu bukan bulatnya, tapi latihannya. Persis. Dilatih untuk komunikasi, untuk ekspresif. Itu yang namanya pelatih. The coach extremely expressive. The coach is very expressive, right? Extremely expressive. Jadi anak itu encouraged to be expressive. Kita itu kenapa kok diam? Ya karena gurunya diam. We're self-restrained. Why? Because the teacher was self-restrained. And you know, be expressive. So jadi ini memang the hope is that transforming teachers, coaches into better teachers, better coach, they can then transform the school, not only in the basketball court, but also at the school, being a more engaging. Dan guru olahraga adalah guru terakhir yang paling membosankan.
And they will impact millions of
Harus.
children.
I said the sport teachers must be the last teacher that is boring. If you're teaching physics, you're boring, that's a different story. But if you're teaching sports, you must be very engaging. It has to be.
And you know what's so funny about the program? First year, we're getting more phys ed teachers. But when they started talking to their colleagues, we started getting math teachers, English teachers, different teachers. They wanted to interest in, because sometimes in extracurricular, it can be any teacher just teaching basketball, so it's really nice to see. Absolutely. We're going to, as a key next step, because of the success we're having, we're now preparing, because we have an alignment with you on the MOU, and we're preparing that. And that's going to be sometime in late August, early September. If you could all attend the signing, that would be awesome. We'll keep you noted on the date of that, and then hopefully we can all get together at that time.
Okay. Let's arrange that. Siap, Pak Jim.
Thank you.
All is good. Thank you so much.
And thank all of you, really. Gub Anies, I think your leadership, your support of the program has enabled, honestly, MBA, junior MBA to look good in Asia. And so thank all of you for your time.
From our side, we thank you for coming in all the way to Jakarta and many other places in Indonesia. And by the way, I put a note here, I think. We have at the national level, not our program, not from the government of Jakarta, but I used to run a project sending best university graduates to the remote area and teach. They are stationed in places that is far away from Jakarta. So, you know, what I think, just a thought, if we can also channel many of the materials to these teachers who are now stationed across Indonesia, in a far
Absolutely.
away.
Absolutely.
And if they are undergoing training, because before they've been deployed, they're undergoing training here, and perhaps they can also participate in your training. In terms of numbers, they're around 50 to 70 being deployed twice a year for a duration of service for 1 year. But they are recruited from around 15,000 applicants. 15,000 and selected around 50. So it is actually more competitive than any scholarship. So these are best talents. The idea is they can also have the curriculum, the approach that they can bring in to the places that they may never imagine. They learn basketball. Okay? Because in those places, it is what I mean, minimum furnishing.
Yeah, there's not.
There's minimum access to
yes,
water.
right.
They may have no electricity. These are the places in which we send the
Fantastic.
So let's explore that possibility.
I think that's definitely, and that's in line with you know, our objective of ensuring that we do well for the community by doing good.
Right.
So if we can help kids who don't have access because teachers don't have access for whatever, whether it's access to digital or just physical access, if we can support that and give all of those kids in the rural areas, remote areas, the same access, I think that would be wonderful.
So it's beyond, it is true, it is beyond rural, it is remote, among the most remote area in the country. And perhaps reaching to those villages may take longer than flying to Los Angeles.
And some are in the 1,000 islands, right? And those are very difficult to reach. Absolutely, yes.
Indeed. Good, perfect. So the next step is proceed dengan ini. Then prepare the MOU, yeah?
Yes, that's right. That's right. We're working on that now. Yes, yes.
And then we'd like to have your recording, and then that recording, go ahead.
Yes, we'll have that. I'll give you all the materials and more. Yes.
And we will then promote also here in Jakarta for the programs through our channels. And we can reach all students, all teachers, parents.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I think it's been such a blessing to have this partnership, and I think that it's only going to get bigger and much more exciting moving forward. We're just at the beginning. It's great.
I know. I'm looking forward to see this bigger and bigger.
So are we. So are we.
How's Coach Carlos doing?
Coach Carlos says hello, by the way. He couldn't make it here on this trip. He just came out on holiday. But of course, he's always talking about you. He's saying, my friend, my buddy, you gotta go. So he does send us hello. And he's going to see you on the next trip for sure.
Good. Begitu? Ada yang lain? Cukup?
Yeah.
Thank you, Pak Jen. You know, is anybody mentioned that every Friday this is our uniform?
I noticed that Lucinta was here earlier, and I said, oh, she looks so nice. Not she looks nice every day, but it's so special. And she told me that, oh, it was Friday. And I said, okay, well, that's nice. I got to call it Fridays only.
So on Friday, actually, Pak itu pakainya sarung.
Sarung.
That is the right one.
This is the right one. Oh, okay.
Sarung, not scarf.
Oh, okay. I gotta get one of those.
It's a sarung that you can actually use.
So that's a
So apa sarung di mana pakainya?
Sarung.
Sarung.
Yeah. Like strong, right? Like strong. Yeah.
So in the old times, the male travels to places using swords.
Yes.
Okay. And when they work at the field, the rice field, or they work at the plantation, they're wearing swords. The challenge when it comes to time for prayers, that's why they're always carrying the sarung wherever they go. So when the prayer time comes, then they use the sarung, and then you can do the salat, the prayer. Okay. So the sarung is there, always there. So that was the initial design, and he's the only one keeping it.
That pattern. That pattern.
No, the sarung. This one is no sarung.
Oh, that's not.
No, this is not sarung.
That's a scarf.
Meaning this is like scarf.
Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
the original what you should be wearing is a real sarung.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, okay. I got it now. All right.
So,
Yes.
So in the old times, after he works, he needs to do prayer, then he uses the sarung, and then he fold it again and put it again.
Right.
Now this is the new design.
Just time is transition. That's fantastic.
So every Friday we're wearing this.
It's nice.
Thank you.
Could we get a photo?
Let's have a photo together,
Great.
and then after that, let's do the photo there,
Yeah.
and then let's go to the entry point to sort of a.
And we actually have that in the coaches committee. Maybe at the university level, it would more on styles of coaching, but we could talk about that definitely. We do that in other places.
Yeah, sort of equip students with more skills through basketball.
Right. Family.
Uh-huh.
So the tier family is part of the junior MBA program, their foundation. And part of that foundation, when we first started giving scholarships to kids that write why you deserve the scholarship, how this program changed your life, kind of along the lines. So it's a lot smaller scale than what you're talking about, but definitely I think that's aligned with it. Right?
Let's have a picture. Do you want? That's Hesti.
Hesti.
Yep, let's have a picture. Ya, kita berdua dulu. Satu, dua, tiga.
My name is Jim Wall. I'm the Associate Vice President for the NBA Asia. We are here today in the Jakarta Central Government. We're working here very closely with Gubernur Anies Baswedan and his team. We're so proud to be here through our Junior NBA program and to share some of the successes that we've seen through this program and through this partnership with the Jakarta government. We're working very closely with his head of education, his education department, to train thousands of teachers throughout Jakarta. And through that, we're going to impact the lives of millions of kids. We're working so closely, not just at the school level, but we're in rural areas. We're training with the basketball community in general, and all with the strong support of the Jakarta government.
You know, what we're doing here is going to change the lives of millions of children. You know, we are now working on developing a bespoke curriculum, a syllabus specifically for the Jakarta schools. So we're going to reach all 3,500 schools across Jakarta. And through grades 1 through 12, we're designing specific videos. Of course, all of this is in local Bahasa and English as well. But all of this is also available on the digital space through our website, juniormba.asia/Indonesia. We make sure that not only is it available on the web, but that it's also going to be mobile friendly. And through being mobile friendly, now teachers across all of the country, not just here in Jakarta, will have access to the program. Now, the program here has been so successful that the NBA is now replicating this model in other markets across the world. And this is only going to get better. Now, we feel that with the cooperation with the Jakarta government, the cooperation of Governor Baswedan and his team, the opportunity is pretty much limitless. And we're getting so much support, not just from the kids, the teachers, the parents, but the community in general. So we want to thank the government of Jakarta, thank Governor Baswedan and his team for that cooperation and that support. We're sincerely grateful.